that's currently in college goes to this small town that she used to live at, and there's a bunch of hidden secrets that you find out that happened like 20 years ago. And it's really good. I thought it was good. I like it. Wasn't terrible. It's kind of mid, as the kids say. So I gave it a 3 stars. Well, I said I wasn't gonna give you stars. Maybe I will. I don't know. But yeah, that was the first one I read. Next, I'll go into the audiobooks because I did actually read quite a few. Well, listen to quite a few audiobooks. I like to listen to audiobooks, and I went for a lot of walks with my daughters. So it helped me get out of the house. It helped me get some fresh air and exercise, obviously. So yeah, I did a lot of audiobooks. And for some reason, I was into the celebrity memoir during my maternity leave. So the first book that I read that was an audiobook was The Third Gilmore Girl. I'll show you in just a second. Okay. The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. There it is, popped up. I'm a huge Gilmore Girls stan. I know that a lot of people are, and especially this time of year, it's trendy to be a Gilmore Girls fan. But I was a Gilmore Girls fan since 8th grade, okay? And that was quite a long time ago. I'm 32 years old, so I've been a fan for 18 years. And I just was hooked. I got a fan like when they had their last season, so the 7th season was actually on TV, and I remember watching the new episodes, and I was so excited. And I loved this audiobook. I don't rate memoirs, so I won't tell you my rating, but I love Kelly Bishop. I didn't realize she had such a fascinating life. It talks about, obviously, her theater experience, and I was a theater minor, so I'm into that too, and just her experience as a dancer, and which I'm sure was the inspiration behind Bunheads, and Amy Sherman Palladino has an introduction to this. She's the creator of Gilmore Girls, and they're like close, and I think that's cool. And she's also close to like Lauren Graham, and who's more like Gilmore. But yeah, really entertaining. It was really fun. Very nostalgic for me. It felt good to listen to on a walk with my daughters, because you know Gilmore Girls is all about like the mother and daughter relationship, so I felt really cozy, and it was just fun. I had fun waking up, especially this was during the first week of my maternity leave, so especially waking up like every few hours to feed my baby, I could listen to this audiobook in the background, and it was fun. It was a good experience. So the next audiobook that I listened to was the John Stamos one. If you would have told me, hold on. Takes a while to search for these on the Kindle store. Okay, because I don't have, obviously they're audiobooks, I don't have a physical copy of them. I listen to these either on Libby or on my Spotify. So, here, okay. If You Would Have Told Me by John Stamos. Again, it was kind of a nostalgic experience because he goes on about his time on Full House. Obviously, that's what he's most known for. His time with the Beach Boys, his relationships to Bob Saget and Dave Coulier and all that, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I think there were some parts that kind of went back and forth. It was kind of annoying, and I think he went on a lot of tangents, but overall, I really enjoyed that listening experience. Then the third audiobook I listened to was Lisa Marie Presley's one. Let me pop it out. I forget the name, so bear with me, please. Yeah, it's with her and her daughter, because obviously Lisa Marie passed away not too long ago, but her daughter took the reins and finished her book for her, and so it's kind of like a combined effort. Julia Roberts is the narrator for this audiobook, and she does a fantastic job. I really enjoyed this one. So here you go. It's called From Here to the Great Unknown. It's on Oprah's Book Club, apparently, so it must be good, right? Yeah, this is about Lisa Marie Presley, who again had a fascinating life, and basically house, and it's really kind of depressing and dark at times. But I think it's important to read books that make you feel deeply, those deep, dark feelings. Because obviously when I gave birth, I was having a lot of emotions too, and it's a lot of familial issues it deals with. And, I have 2 daughters, so, it goes into Lisa Marie's relationship with her daughter, and obviously Elvis with her, and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so wonderful. So I'm just so glad. I didn't really know much about Elvis, to be honest, and Lisa Marie. It's just never really got into that. But I'm glad I listened to it, because I think sometimes it's important to listen to audiobooks about celebrities that maybe you don't really know much about, or I'm not huge fans of, just to get their perspective on things. So that was a great experience. So I will show you one more book on the Kindle, but it's not because, I'm sorry, 2 more books on the Kindle, but it's not because they were audiobooks. It's because I donated them to little libraries around my town. It's not that I hated them. It's just that I'm very specific about what books I put on my bookshelves. They have to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very profound to me. They have to have a meaning. I'm all about meanings, and I just don't want to have something on the bookshelf that I'm not really, that doesn't spark joy, as Marie Kondo would say. That doesn't really spark my love for reading. I want my bookshelves to be reflections of books that I love. So in order to be on my bookshelf, you kind of have to step it up. Anyway, so the first one I read was the sequel to, the sequel to The House on the Cerulean Sea. The House in the Cerulean Sea is the first book. I really love that book. This is the sequel to it. It's called Somewhere Beyond the Sea by DJ Clute. And I will just say, I fell in love with the first book. The second book still had the same elements. The elements were there. It just didn't bring me as much joy as the first one. That's not saying he's a bad writer or anything. I just thought it was good. It was good. It's not an experience I wouldn't reread it. I just did. It was good. Alright. And then the next one, I think there's a theme here because this is also part of a series. This one is called, just a second, sorry. This is the last one on the Kindle, so I'll stop having to search for things. This one is the second book in the the billionaire love stories. This one's called Love Unwritten. I fell in love with the first one, which was Love Redesigned. Yeah. And I love the character. I love the family dynamics. The reason I wasn't too fond of this one is because the reason I fell in love with the first one is because of all the family dynamics. I think I fell in love with their family most of all. This didn't have that much of it, and I wasn't really invested in the main characters, and that's hard. It's really hard to get into a story if you're not into the main characters, so that's why it was fell flat for me, and I just had to return it had to give it back to someone that might enjoy it, because sorry, for whatever reason, it wasn't it. Okay, so that's it. I'm done with my Kindle reads. Now, these are in no particular order, but I did want to share the last 3 books that I've read. They're part of a trilogy, and my God, I love R.F. Kuang. She is amazing. I cannot wait to read Babel on my bookshelf, and Catabasis, or Catabasis. I'm not quite sure how to say it. I feel like people say it differently, no matter on who you're talking to. So anyway, regardless, I know I like R.F. Kuang. The first book I read at first was Yellowface. I talked about that in a previous video. That was an audiobook, and that was really great. I know I always love her writing. She's just fantastical, and it sucks you in, and I like books that suck you in. amazing, strong, fierce female main character. Now I know a lot of fantasy series say that. That's trending nowadays, especially with romantasy. But no, Rin is an awesome female character. She's an awesome main character. And I loved all of the other characters, even the bad ones. That's how I know I like a story. If I even like the bad ones. And there was a lot of bad people in these books. A lot. And I like the first Poppy War because my little nerdy heart loves Dark Academia. And there was a part where they go to like this military academy, Synagard, and that's where they learn all their combat strategies and ways of thinking and politics and whatnot. And the fact that Rin even got into that academy was a huge deal because she was from a little southern province that no one cares about and people basically treat like shit. I mean, there's a lot of context about politics, racism, sexual assault. There's a lot of trigger warnings. I mean, it pretty much has all the trigger warnings. But it was fantastic. I was really invested in Rin and her story and the whole fantasy series. I'm not really that much into fantasy, and I'm glad I read these because now I can start branching out into that genre. I was just hooked. I loved it. It was great stuff. So on a more lighter note, I read nonfiction Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. These are just kind of his musings on things and his communications with other scholars like Socrates and Plato and whatnot. And I highlighted a ton of stuff. You see it? I see the little yellow picking out. Yeah. This is one of those books that I'm going to probably come back to, and if I need a moment of inspiration or motivation, that's what I'll pick up. And then I read Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. I'm really excited for her new book, The Academy. I have that as an audiobook for my book of the month, but I can't listen to it until September 16th when it comes out. But anyway, I never read Ellen Hildebrand before, but this is my first one of hers, and I loved it. The Hotel Nantucket gives me so much White Lotus vibes, and I love White Lotus. This is great. I highly recommend. The next one is my second Frederick Bachman, My Friends. And this is just beautiful. I love stories about friendship and nostalgia and summertime and like poverty and family dynamics. It's just amazing. Okay, this is one I read for my book club last month. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I did this as an immersive read, so I listened to this while I was listening. I read this while I was listening to the audiobook, and perfect. It's got everything I like. Gothic horror, historical fiction. V.E. Schwab, I've never read her books before, but she has such a literary style of writing, which I really enjoy. I did read a classic, so don't say, oh, you only read, because my husband tends to do that. He's a little bit of a book snob, but I love him. But yeah, it's like, oh, you need to stop reading. He calls them my teen romance books. I don't read young adult. I do read romance. He's right about that, but he calls them my teen romance books. But anyway, I did read a classic, and that was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. It's a classic for a reason, right? But no, seriously. It's about these two sisters, and they're different. They're like kind of polar opposites of each other. And it's about their trials and tribulations. And of course, it's a Jane Austen book, so it's about them finding a husband or whatever, Regency, England, that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for that. So, good stuff. Okay. And then the last book that I read during my maternity leave is The Compound by, I never know how to say her name, Aisling Rawle. I want to say she's an Irish writer. Okay, I hear a lot of things on YouTube that are like, oh, this book is just weird, I don't like it. I think it's because it's slow-paced, and it was kind of marketed as a fast-paced thriller, kind of sensational show, but not that. Anyway, yeah, so it was marketed as that, and I think that was wrong. It's more Lord of the Rings than Love Island, I will just say that. And if you're into that, like if you're into Lord of the Rings, if you're into Yellow Jackets, stuff like that, you'll probably be into this. And Big Brother, it reminded me a lot of Big Brother. Well, the reality show and the book itself. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I have. I don't know how many books that's why I didn't really count them. But I'm sure you guys can count them and let me know in the comments. You can like my video. You can subscribe to my little community here. There's not much of us, but you're always welcome. I don't discriminate. I hope you have a fantastic fall. I'm so excited for fall. I'm actually looking forward to going back to work and to getting back into routine with my 2 daughters. Now I have two daughters. So yeah, thank you. Happy fall. Almost fall. I know technically it's not fall yet, but I think in September you can have fall whenever you want. I'm gonna start decorating for fall on Friday when I get my candle. So there. Anyway, hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great season. I'm not sure when my next video will be. I'm doing these on the whim now when I feel like it, because again, I do have 2 daughters. I have a full-time job.